Well, we are getting to the very cold part of fall here, early winter stuff, and I thought I'd talk about the gear I wear for cold, windy days, and then as we get into the early winter, kind of the mixture of ice fishing gear, and for those of you down south, probably the same gear I'd wear if I was fishing in December or January in a boat on some of your bigger reservoirs down south. So for starters, the kind of the long john setup, I use Norfin. It's their performance kind of long john setup. Super durable, keeps pretty warm, but it does wick away moisture, which is pretty important. But it's kind of it's not a super loose fitting, but it's not super tight like an Under Armour setup. So it does wick away moisture, allows airflow, which is really important during ice fishing if you're walking around, dragging your sled and everything. But even on a boat, if you're catching fish and constantly going back to the live well, you can work up a sweat depending on how big those fish are. Now, as far as other base layers go, typically just running like a performance long sleeve. ACC crappie sticks make some hoodies. Norfin makes some kind of performance long sleeve stuff. And then wear your favorite hoodie. This is an ACC crappie sticks hoodie. This right here is the Norfin Onyx jacket. It's a full zip hooded jacket. It's a great way to layer up, either whether you're on a boat or if you're ice fishing. And then this is something I wear throughout most of the late fall open water season. This is actually a liner for one of their float suits. The Norfin Extreme 5 float suit comes with this liner, but you can also buy this liner separately. It's just kind of a great puffy jacket, and it's a great layering system to layer up. As far as gloves go, so there's two set of gloves that I use. These are my regular fishing gloves. These are the Norfin Helium gloves. They got a flip over mitten. Also, you can stick your thumb out this hole right here so you can actually tie your jig or re-spool or whatever you need to do. But if you're driving down the lake and it's cold and windy, or if you're on your snowmobile or four-wheeler, these are the Norfin Extreme Zip mittens. They come with a kind of lightweight glove for a liner, so you can pull the mittens off, retie, or re-spool or do something. But then also you have the zip out mitten top, so you can actually stick your hand out through the top of the mitten and retie if you want to. But these are super warm, even if you're on the boat doing 50 miles an hour down the river. These are going to keep your hands very, very warm. As far as kind of a, I don't know if we can see this. Let's back up a little bit without falling out of the boat. So bibs wise, right now I'm just wearing the Pro Dry 3 bibs, super wind resistant, obviously some rain gear setup. Typically I'll wear these down to about 40 degrees. Right now it's kind of flirting with it. I got on the water, it was like 38, 39 degrees, but it's supposed to warm up to about 45 today. Again, Norfin base layer pants, and then just some sort of whatever fishing pants that you wear, and then these bibs. But if you are fishing in the late winter time, specifically down south, now we up north are used to kind of float systems for our early ice. But for those of you that fish down south, maybe you're not aware of these systems, maybe you are. Our float systems, when we use them for ice fishing, are for early ice in case you do go through the ice. The bibs, the jackets, they got built-in insulation to be able to keep your head above water so you can get back up onto the ice and then get off the ice to go warm up and dry off. For those of you that fish open water throughout the winter, specifically down south, I run the Element Float Plus bibs and jacket system. The bibs themselves probably are good enough that if you do fall over out of your boat, it's going to keep your head above water so you can get back into your boat if you don't want to wear the jacket. I highly recommend wearing the jacket along with the bibs if you're fishing in the boat. If you don't want to wear a PFD system, something like this, if you don't like wearing these as you're fishing during the wintertime, having a float suit is the next best thing. These float suits are very wind resistant. So even if you are fishing open water, like when I go down to Missouri and Arkansas and Texas in January and February, if I still want to do 50 miles an hour across the lake or down the river, I'm not going to get cold because those things are built very durable, wind resistant, and they're very, very well insulated. The float system I would highly recommend is the Norfin Element Plus. That's what I run both late into the fall up north once the temperatures get below 40, and then definitely throughout all of the ice season. Now, if you fish open water and you do get a little cold and you kind of want a built-in heating system, Norfin does offer float suits that actually have a built-in heating system where all you use is something like this battery pack here. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. You plug your battery pack in, you put it in your pocket, and you turn the heating system on throughout the entire jacket and your bibs. It's a great setup if you do get really cold during the winter time, but you still want to get out there and fish. Highly recommend those setups. As far as boots go, I typically will run shoes down to 40 degrees, but Norfin just came out with kind of their shoe slash boot. It's kind of a low profile boot. So if you are in a boat and you don't want big bulky boots, I'd highly recommend looking at those. I believe those are rated down to -20, so they're still going to be really, really warm. Typically, once the temperature drops to the mid-30s, I'm probably running the Norfin Klondikes or the actual the camo hunting boots that they run. The Klondikes have the built-in cleats, but they're removable, so if you're in fishing in a boat, you can remove those cleats. That way you're not walking up and down your deck. Even with the cleats closed, you can just take them off. It's a little bit more comfortable. But when you're going ice fishing, you definitely want those cleats. So I'd highly recommend the Norfin Klondike for those of you that do open water and ice fishing. For those of you down south, you can get the Klondikes, or they actually have like the Yukon. I prefer the hunting boot because you can use that for multiple seasons. If you do go out hunting, both turkey season or in the fall here. And then you can also use it for fishing on your boat. And they keep your feet really warm. Also socks. They make lightweight, midweight, and heavyweight socks. Typically, I always run the midweights, whether it's in the boat or even ice fishing season. Ice fishing, we're doing a lot more walking around, so the heavyweight sock, it gets a little too warm for me. I typically run the midweight, but if your feet get really cold, I would use the combination of the heavyweight sock that they offer with one of their bigger boots, either like the Klondikes, the Yukons, or their camo boots that they have. Also, forgot about the beanie. Both ACC Crappie Sticks and Norfin makes their beanies, so as we get into the late fall, early winter, got to keep your head warm. I recommend both of those. But let me know in the comment section below kind of what you run for your late fall, early winter setup. Maybe you run something that I'm wearing right now. If you got any comments or questions about any of the products that I mentioned, you can post in the comment section below, or you can message me on either Facebook or Instagram. I'd be more than happy to answer your questions. So stay warm going into the late fall or an early winter pattern. Hopefully you're getting out on the water. We're probably going to be getting out on the ice here in the next 3 weeks. So yeah, open water season's coming to a close. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to put the boat away for a while. That's all right. Ice fishing's starting up, and that's always exciting. So appreciate you watching. We'll see you in the next one.